A very good evening to all of you who are joining today. Welcome for the SLSTL knowledge sharing session. I think road safety is an issue faced by everyone. However, the prevention of accidents and provision of road safety requires huge commitment from the road users. But not only them, I think there's a very important role that should be played by the professionals involved in road safety. So it may be the police and it may be the officers from RTA, urban planners. Different people have different roles, but a comprehensive role, a comprehensive action to ensure the safety of road users is required in this regard. So as a professional organization, SLSTL feels that they should bring this kind of topics into discussion. So today, I would like to welcome all of you to the SLSTL knowledge sharing session on professionalism in road safety. Let me give a brief background about our resource person today. Our resource person today is Dr. Jayalath Edrisinghe. He's an eminent academic as well as a famous professional involved and heavily committed towards the upliftment of road safety. So Dr. Jayalath has graduated from University of Peradeniya, Sri Lanka in 1987, specializing in civil engineering. Subsequently, he obtained his ME and PhD in 1991 and 1994 from Ehime University, Japan. He has carried out a large number of research projects related to road safety, covering the areas of pedestrian safety, driver behavior, attitude, safety at railway crossings, safety of children, and public transport systems, covering almost all the important ranges. So through his work, I think he has done over 100 publications, and he has been very active in disseminating the outcomes of his knowledge and his research work through public awareness sessions ranging from school children, professional drivers, Sri Lanka Police, Sri Lanka Navy, etc. And also he's very well known for his photographic expressions. He has conducted photographic exhibitions on road safety, and also he has participated in many TV programs so that public is educated on road safety. And also he's a regular writer to many newspapers on road safety. And also he has published 2 books on road safety. So I think he has done a huge contribution, and in 2007, he was recognized as one out of the 5 most dedicated professionals in Sri Lanka for the prevention of road traffic accidents. I think maybe for most of us, he does not need a big introduction. And I will not waste your time on introducing himself, but let's listen to him about how he would like to share his ideas about professionalism in road safety. Over to you, Dr. Jayalath. Thank you for joining today.
Thank you, Dr. Ganga. Good evening, everyone. I consider it as a great honor and a privilege to have this very rare opportunity to share my thoughts, my ideas, and my experience on this subject. When Dr. Tissa and Dr. Ganga asked me whether I can do a session on SLSTL knowledge sharing session, initially I had a doubtful mind whether I can do something match up with the audience, but later I thought, why not? I will try to share something with my experience over 20-25 years in this subject. Right. Let's begin with this. Dr. Ganga, can you hear me? Is it clear enough?
Yes, it's quite audible.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. The topic given to me is professionalism in road safety. Or rather, I think I picked it. And let's talk about professionalism. And when I gave the introduction, I said it's not only engineers, it is all sort of professionals responsible for this thing. Very often, road safety and transportation safety is not purely a technical subject. It is partly technical, partly non-technical. What is most difficult is actually this non-technical part. If any authority wants to improve road safety using technical solutions, technical approaches, I don't think anybody having background of highway engineering, transportation engineering, safety aspects will need more than 2-3 months to prepare a good plan. But the problem is how to handle this non-technical part. It can be driver education, can be public education, can be educating public and police and politicians, etc. So therefore, we have to address this both. Now, this is a common seen during last almost 1.5 years. This is very, very unfortunate situation happened in this country to a great artist of this country. And this was the end result of it. Unfortunate accident. We do not know the whole story behind this, but all I want to start with this is anybody can face this situation. And it's not only us, it can be to any public transport, can be in a newly built road. And even internationally recognized people, this is Paul Walker's car. When it was slammed midnight and set it to fire and burned to death. This is what happened. So Paul Walker could not appear for his last film on Fast and Furious. Instead, his brother appeared for the film. So anything can happen. And the Diana's accident. Therefore, road traffic accidents not limited to only particular group. It is common to everybody. So it should be the responsibility of everyone to see how we can handle it. So let me give you a little bit of global scenario on this. According to WHO, World Health Organization latest reports, we lose nearly 1.35 million people in a year because of traffic accidents. If you calculate per day, it comes to about 3,400 or 3,500, which is a huge number. It's like falling down few jumbo jets a day. But people don't talk about this because it has become such a common thing. And not only this 1.35 million deaths, WHO says further, another 50 million serious injuries also result because of traffic accidents. It's not good to say this 1.35 million die and go, disappear, but this 50 million will stay with the society and will be an additional burden to the family, the society, to the country for few more years, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. So that is why everybody should pay attention how to control these traffic accidents as much as possible. Further, WHO says it is the #1 cause of death for children and young adults between 5 and 29 years of age. Those who are listening for the first time about road safety might have got some idea about how dangerous this is, how serious it is. And it can be one of us tomorrow or next month or next year if we don't pay our attention to this. And according to available information, low and middle income countries like Sri Lanka contributes 92% of accidents to the whole global scenario. And this is how WHO says, population and high income, middle income and low income countries, population 9% in low income countries, road traffic deaths 13%, and vehicles only 1%. Whereas in middle income countries, vehicles 59%, road deaths 80%, and population 76%. When you think about the high income countries, vehicle ownership 40%, population 15%, but road traffic deaths 7%. This is why I said, of course, from the WHO records, low income countries and middle income countries are the main vulnerable group, main victims of this. That is why we should pay a little more attention for this topic. Sri Lanka, according to available information, we lose 1 death per 3.5 years, roughly 8 to 9 lives per day, according to available statistics. I do not know how accurate these statistics are. Anyway, these are the statistics I took from traffic headquarters for 2017, 18, and 19. When you say overall, you can see main victims of these accidents are pedestrians and bike riders. Bike riders 33%, pedestrians 30%. And if you add pillion riders also to these bike riders, it's altogether 40%. So two vulnerable road user categories top the list. Pedestrians are very often passive participants for this activity. And accidents add one more thing. It is for lives and it's for property damage and congestion. Let me show you a little bit about fuel usage also before entering into the topic. According to the information I have from 2018, 2019, and 2020, this is the fuel usage in Sri Lanka. Roughly, we use 2 billion. Give me a minute. Yeah, 2 billion. 2 billion diesel and 1.4 billion liters of petrol, 2.3 billion liters of diesel and 1.4 billion liters of petrol in Sri Lanka. So these traffic accidents contribute through congestion to this fuel usage and sometimes fuel wastage. And this is the daily usage, 6 million liters of diesel and 4 million liters of petrol. And this is the per person usage world and Sri Lanka. In the world, when the per person usage is 0.599, we are using 0.28. Almost half. Somebody talking, let me mute. Yes. Dr. Ganga or somebody can pay attention, and if there's a noise, probably you can help. Okay.
I will do that.
Right. Right. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Now, before entering into various professional groups, let me show you one of the challenges we researchers pay in doing road traffic accidents. Now, this is the accident records available from 1977 up to 2019. You can see a regular increment up to this point, that is 2003, and then a sharp drop. And then once it picked up, and again it is going down. So why is this? Is it because the road traffic accidents reduced from this year, 2003, or an increase due to some reason here, or is it underreporting? This is mainly underreporting. This graph shows this very clearly. These are the 4 categories of traffic accidents reported to traffic headquarters. The bottom line red one shows the fatal accidents where 1 death or more result in accident. And the one above that is the grievous accidents where serious incidents, serious injuries happen. And one above that is non-grievous accidents, that is slight injuries. And the white line shows only the property damage. So you can see most of the property damage accidents underreported from 2003 onwards. It is probably because of some of these new insurance schemes introduced to this country to get rid of police report when they go for reporting. Therefore, it is one professional group who can think about this. Is this legal? Can this happen in the country? And when there's no proper record, how can we proceed with this study? So it is one point to ask from the audience. It is a professional group. Not only that, there's one more point. We have all these records in one place, but how much do we use it? When I analyzed 5 years of data taken from traffic headquarters, I found one driver made 6 accidents within 5 years. 2 drivers made 5 accidents, and 3 drivers 4 accidents, and 8 drivers 3 accidents, and 90 drivers 2 accidents. But their punishment was not different because of previous cases, because it was not properly or systematically available for the investigation officers to check the history. Not only that, if we can add the traffic violations also into this database, I think some projects are going on to improve this traffic database, traffic accident database, and traffic violation database. Without that, the drivers will not understand the severity of it, and the drivers will always feel comfortable to make another accident and just run out without paying much tax, without paying much penalty. Therefore, it is another group who should work on that, collecting proper and systematic data. Of course, it is police. In any country, police is responsible for maintaining traffic accident data. So, ladies and gentlemen, so these are two professional groups now. It should be insurance, who is demotivating people going to police stations to report, but it's illegal. It's out of the law. It cannot happen. But I do not know how it is continuing and how various newspaper advertisements, public TV appearances, roadside hoardings are displayed, saying, you hit and run, we will send you money home. And it is discussed under SDGs also. It is so important to the whole world. Under SDG, goal number 3 and goal number 11 talks about road safety. In goal number 3, under good health, one of the targets is reducing traffic accidents. And under goal number 11, one is to provide proper transportation. So it is important, so important to the world to have safe and convenient transport system, needless to say, to a group like this. But how much can we do? So who should work on this? There are many P's responsible for this. Police, professionals, policymakers, politicians, pedestrians, parents, principals. You can go on the list. And the responsibilities lie on many E's also. Let me take major 4 E's. We can handle this through engineering, education, enforcement, encouragement, and of course, after that, emergency care, encouragement, environment, evaluation, and emotional control. One might say that is why the thing is also here. No, there's no relation to that. So let me show you how to handle this problem. If you ask from anybody who has not worked extensively on road safety, what is the reason for traffic accidents? It will be something like explaining an elephant by 5 blind people or blindfolded people. Depending on the section or depending on the part they touch, they will say it is like a wire, it is like a hose, it is like a trunk, it is like a flap. That is what is happening very often. If you ask for accidents, always public is prepared to blame only drivers. I don't say drivers are innocent. I don't say drivers are disciplined. But just blaming only drivers will not solve this problem. We should understand that fact. And according to many research, traffic accidents happen due to a number of reasons, multifactorial. But out of that, what is most important is human factors contribute up to 95%. When you say human factors, it is drivers, pedestrians, not only that, even other human contributions. Maybe roadside workers, maybe roadside occupants, maybe decision making. So therefore, we should pay attention to this. How to use this is to control human factors to improve road safety through various professionals. So that is going to be my approach. Let me show you some of these human behaviors. These are very common. These are very common scenes on roads. How can they continue like this if there are vigilant people? And how can drivers behave like this if there's law and order in this country? This light is illegal, so overtaking is illegal. And it's not only poor drivers, even these people do it. So-called educated and displaying their professional groups. It is to take the law into their hand. Therefore, let me show you some of the research we did in Peradun University, of course, through undergraduates and postgraduate students. Why human behavior matters and how to control human behavior. Out of few research I carried out, of course, not directly related to road safety, but indirectly. One is change of driver behavior because of road facilities. Now for this, one of the studies I did is, of course, collecting road traffic accident data from police and trying to understand what are the main reasons or main causes of accidents. According to the records of 2017, 18, and 2019 records, for total number of accidents, main reasons out of identified reasons is overtaking. Second is turning. Third is speeding. Overtaking top the list among identified reasons. For fatal accidents, it is speeding and overtaking. So for both cases, overtaking matters. So why do drivers overtake? Can't we control it? What do engineers have to do on this? Because this is engineering. For that, we did a study in Peradun University to understand the tendency of overtaking drivers based on the centerline marking. For that, I selected through 3 road segments, Gampala Pusellava, Gampala Navalapitiya, Matale Akurana, to cover 3 different road types: flat terrain, rolling terrain, and mountainous terrain. And in this, I found in Gampala Pusella Road, 74.6% of road length is non-changeable lane, either single lane or double lane. If a driver fallen behind a slow-moving driver, what is the driver has to do? Either overtaking carelessly or just going behind them. And Gampala Navalapitiya 57 point and Mathala only 32 point. 75% of the road section of 11.2 kilometers marked with single line or double line. So this is how the study was carried out. Identified into 3 conditions: acceptable overtaking, unacceptable, that means either single line or double line, overtaking without effect of vehicle bunching. There's no vehicle bunching, and there's only 1 or 2 vehicles, not more than that, but overtake. And type 3, unacceptable overtaking with vehicle bunching. Vehicle bunching happen because of slow moving vehicle, and they lose their patience and overtake. And road segments are selected to 3: less than 100 meters, 100 meters, 300 meters, more than 300 meters. Anyway, this is how the overtaking was observed. L1, 100 meters, less than 100. L2, 100 to 300 meters. L3, greater than 300 meters. So type 1, type 2, type 3. Type 3 means overtaking with bunching. So you can see it is more. And especially in rolling and mountain terrains, you can see drivers tend to overtake carelessly, even illegal, under type 3, that is when the length of the road marking at the center line is either single line or double line. Is there a solution to this? And the second part is this: whether drivers overtake at the beginning of the marking or the ending at the marking. You can see L3 means greater than 300. Always they overtake towards the end because that is after having a lot of patience. Is there a solution to this? And this is the level of service we calculate based on speed and the volume. Why not we think about introducing something like this? Overtaking lanes or slow lanes. I have seen RD has started introducing in few places. It is high time, at least for us, those who are living in Kandy, in mountainous areas like this, to have something like this, either called slow lane or passing lane. And another study we carried out, pedestrian facilities between Kandy and Jaffna, totally 321 kilometers. From Kandy to Jaffna, 321 kilometers, there are 295 bus stops. And from Jaffna to Kandy, of course, the same distance, 309 bus stops are there. And the density of bus stops is this. That means there's 1 bus stop per kilometer. What is important and interesting is, and how many bus stops are facilitated with a pedestrian crossing? Anyway, always a passenger, pedestrian to become a passenger, to either to cross while getting in or getting out. At least a passenger should cross a road twice during a journey. Out of 604 bus halting places, only 250 bus holes are with a pedestrian crossing and 354 bus holes without a pedestrian crossing. I don't say all 604 bus holes can be facilitated with a pedestrian crossing, but we should not forget about the safety of pedestrians. Isn't it something engineering? 354. Not only that, 41%, only 41% with the pedestrian crossing. And then we investigated the location of this pedestrian crossing. We normally advise when you get off from the bus, do not cross in front, especially for school children, young children, since they are not too high and the driver may not be seen. So according to the investigations, 22% of these bus holes have a pedestrian crossing in front of the pedestrian crossing, in front of the bus hold. So 22% of pedestrian crossings placed in front of the bus hold. So their life is at danger. So these are some engineering measures to improve the road user behavior, maybe driver behavior, maybe pedestrian behavior, before blaming only drivers and pedestrians. And what is enforcement? We can introduce enforcement also. For that, I selected this study. We did a study about parking facilities or parking behavior. Now, this is in Kandy. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicles parked. This is a major road, Sirmo Bandaranayak Mawatha, radiating from Peradeniya to Kandy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of 6 cars, only 1 car is parked facing main road. So all these other 5 cars will have to reverse before starting their journey, like this. So I had to block. Since this vehicle was reversing, he was reversing to facilitate this driver to reverse. So where's law enforcement in this country? Reversing to a main road is illegal. So according to the data we collected, the analysis we collected, 38% of vehicles, let me show that, 38% of vehicles park having the back to the main road and 14% facing the main road. And how do they maneuver? They need this much of time to maneuver and take the vehicle to a main road. 42 seconds. It's quite a time. So driver misbehavior contribute to a certain extent because of this. That is why enforcement is also important. And education. How education comes? For that, I selected this study. We did 2 studies about the road user behavior or the vehicle behavior. It's about seatbelt. Actually, this was a bit old study I carried out, but I decided to share this with you. Some of the statistics are a bit old, but probably even if you do now, may not be that different. We categorize vehicles as English numbers and other numbers. According to Sri Lankan law, vehicles having an English number plate should wear the seat belt, or the driver and the front passenger should wear a seat belt. So 76% of vehicles we inspected were with English number, and all the vehicles had the seat belts, and all the seat belts were functioning. I hope you know what is functionality. And only 87% were using the seat belt, but 13% were not using. And out of 87%, we saw 86% were using the seat belt properly, but 14% were not using the seat belt properly, in the sense they were not wearing the properly, either it is through the neck or something like that. And when it comes to the normal numerical number plates, there were only 24 number plates, and 87% of vehicles had the seat belt, and 13% did not have. Out of this 87%, 92% seat belts were functional, 8% were not functional, and only 8% were using the seat belt. Why? It is probably because of the law. It's not for their safety. So many people wear seat belt to get rid of police ticket. So this is where education matters. And 80% wearing properly and 20% not. So these are the information. When we did this survey, we inspected in rural areas, suburban areas, and urban areas. You can see in urban areas, very often, seatbelt usage is higher relatively compared to rural areas. Why? Very often police check in urban areas, not in rural areas. So that means drivers and pedestrians, and drivers and the passengers wear seatbelt not for their safety, It is to get rid of policymakers. And this is the variation of male and female and children. Male, female, and children. Very often, children do not wear. It is probably because of not having this rule of using this kind of jumper seat or booster seats. It is high time to introduce that. And the next study we did, again, a little bit of old study about wearing helmets by motorcycle riders. Amazingly, many motorcycle riders, adults especially, wear helmets. But if you check closely, you will find they're not wearing it properly. So this is the male, the helmet wearing percentages of male and female riders, full face and open face and half time. Almost 100%, not actually 100%, almost 98% of riders and pillion riders were wearing helmets. But when it comes to children, almost 48%, almost 52%, only 48% were wearing helmet. Almost 52% of children were not wearing helmet when they're traveling with their parents. Mother or father wear a helmet, but not the child. Is that because this child is from some other family? Or is that because they think the children's head cuff is more powerful? And you see other safety measures. Helmet usage is very high, but jacket, gloves, boots, and eye protection usage were very, very low. Why? It is not in the law. So it is not only enforcement, education also matters. Probably through things like this. This happened just in front of my eye. And this fellow was not wearing a proper shoe. And you can see the injury. And you can see the injury here. He was not wearing gloves. It happened just in front of my eyes. So I took a few photographs to show and things like this. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop blaming only drivers and pedestrians. But we can do a lot more. Finally, encouragement. This was captured by traffic headquarters through their CCTV camera networks. Safety of pedestrians. And we know pedestrian facilities are highly neglected in this country, highly neglected. If you want to see how neglected pedestrian facilities in this country, you should come to Peradeniya. There's a hospital for children, Siruma Bandaranayaga Hospital. It's in operation for more than 10 years now. Still, there's no safe path for pedestrians to approach hospital from any of the directions they travel. And I brought this matter to the notice of many people, but no one took action. And this is the quality of payments. So overhead bridges were designed to facilitate safety, to change the level of grade. But you know what happened? People don't like it due to some reason. And they make their own path. Remember, this is leading to a railway track. And that is why this overhead bridge is constructed. And there were many deaths reported, but still people do it. Why? There's something wrong with this. So for that, we did a study about the public refusal or public acceptance of grade separated pedestrian crossings. We selected 4 such crossings in Kandy, underpasses and overpasses. And this is how pedestrians cross. There's an underpass here, but they comfortably cross like this. There's an overpass here. Pedestrians very comfortably cross like this. And according to the information we collected during peak and off-peak, underpass and overpass, this is the acceptance and this is the refusal. If I show you the percentages, underpasses only 25% and 24% refuse. But when it comes to overpass, you can see in off-peak covers, almost close to 70% of pedestrians refuse overpasses. Why? It's quite evident. Globally, it is a failure. People do not have motorized legs. So, something I saw in Malaysia. If you want to have grade separated crossings, we have to think about the road users. Without that, most of these facilities may not work. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop blaming only one part, only drivers or pedestrians. We all professionals are responsible for this. It can be in different angles. It can be in different ways. Professionalism and road safety, you have to have hands in hand. That is my message. Over to you, Dr. Ganga.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jalath. I think with a very simple set of photos and with a very strong set of data, you have showed us that we all have a part in this, in safeguarding the lives of everyone. I think not only the peace, I think we can work on these 4 E's to enhance and have a better, safer roads. So I would like to open the discussion for the audience. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yeah, Mr. Rial, please go ahead. Yeah.
Dr. Jaira, thank you very much for that comprehensive lecture. Although it is very short, you covered many things. I have one thing that I would like to ask you. That is, does driver fatigue have any influence on these accidents? Because in the recent past, there have been quite a few accidents with regard to long distance buses and so forth, and these trailers and so forth, especially containers. So yeah, because in most of the other countries, in foreign countries, especially in passenger buses, they give only about 4 to 5 hours driver to drive. After that, they change over. Especially now, in those countries, it is on the expressways that they drive. But in our country, there's not much on expressways, but on main roads. So therefore, actually, because it is on main road, it can't be even 4 to 5 hours. It must be little less than that also, because the traffic is heavy. I just want to get your idea about that. Driver fatigue.
Oh, you are 100% correct, Mr. Pial. Very nice to have you, Mr. Pial, after a long time. You are quite right. Yeah, fatigueness is one of the key factors for accidents. And I didn't touch that area in this this presentation. We started doing a research project on fatigueness, but very difficult to get honest data, honest details from driver interviews. But it's a critical factor. It's a critical factor. It's not only for bus drivers. You may know some of these taxis are operated like that. I don't want to name any of the taxis. Their drivers drive probably 20 hours, 22 hours a day. It's very, very dangerous. There's no specific mechanism to control this. It has to be. You're quite right, Mr. Pierre.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We invite the others to yeah, please.
I have one. Can I have a question?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, please.
First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Jalath Singh for his wonderful presentation. Actually, he was my advisor during my university days. So I would like to seek an advice from you, Doctor, which I didn't obtain during my university days. Because now I'm making in the category of policymakers. I would like to have some discussion regarding this non-overtaking distance you mentioned in your presentation. Yeah. Normally, when we are providing this road marking on the center, we provide 2 types of road. For non-overtaking, we provide this continuous line, which we call RM6 in the Gazette, and RM11, that is double continuous center line. So you mentioned that if we provide either of these 2 non-overtaking lines to a considerable length, then the drivers would become they are impatient and they would try to cross these lines and overtake. So, Doctor, if you have any idea regarding this, the any figure on the maximum allowable non-overtaking distance in a local road? Say, because the thing is, now at the moment, what we do is, as a rule of thumb, we try to minimize this length to say around 150 to 200 meters, and try to provide some other types of road markings like RM4 line or combination lines like that. So do you have any idea regarding that, Doctor, the maximum allowable non-overtaking distance, the practical figure?
Not at the moment, and we are doing another study these days. It's again
Yeah.
about overtaking behavior with the
Yeah.
with the various other facilities. No, I'm sorry, no. But for this study, we selected the three road segments, less than 100
Okay, sir.
meters, 100 to 300 meters. Why don't you show your face? I can't remember your face, Prasad. You said I was your
Sure.
advisor.
At the moment, I'm not in a position to show my face.
Oh, okay.
I'm from
Just by name, I can't remember you. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm from
Thank you,
Eden
thank
Dutch.
you. Okay, good. Where are you now working?
Now I'm working in Road Development Authority, Infrastructure,
Okay.
Road Safety and Traffic Management Division.
Okay, we'll have a chat later. Yes, Mr. Granny has raised his hand earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Janet. It's really a very important set of research and information. But I immediately felt really, I felt that it is with those research output and information, it's good if you could really revisit the rules and regulation. That's one point. And second point, did you get an opportunity to see analyze the accidents within our expressway network? Because I could consider the expressway network is the only road network that we have designed keeping the overtaking side distance. But these other roads, national roads, I have not little doubt, but I know very well. When we decide, because those thoroughfares is already in place. So if you start designing, providing or taking side distance, it's very difficult. So because of that reason, we normally design whenever the improvement is to be done, we consider only the stopping side distance. I think a good point I really interesting to see, as you mentioned, if you consider road, the length that we have, I can't remember whether this stopping line overtaking facility line is coinciding with the designer's stopping side distance design, also could be overlay. But I simply keep it side. But in the case of expressway, I think we can get a good idea if we could analyze the accidents there, because design is facilitated for overtaking. But I know we have about 30, more than 35 fatal accidents so far since we opened the expressway network since 2011 November. Thank you. And other last point is your research really is, I think, eye-opening for to improve the existing design standards, which we really depend on Australian and Astro standards. I think the context of Sri Lankans is so many parameters that you mentioned, the behavioral context, and I think good time with your information is revisit our design standard, which we have prepared in 1989. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Granny. Thank you. Very nice to have a chat with you. Yes, yeah. I did one study about accidents behavior on Southern Expressway, and this year we are doing another study. About the accidents on expressways, and I will let you know once we finish that.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
that's interesting. We look forward for that. Okay.
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jagat, for the very good presentation with a lot of data. Actually, after understanding it, I changed my question after understanding, listening to Mr. Kenny. What I understand is that, the reason for this increase in the traffic is, increase the accidents in the recent past. One thing is that we are not allowed to design in the way that we want in Sri Lanka, because the constraint coming from the funding agencies. And sometimes, RGA policies that the reason came in for the cost cutting and cost, regulations. I remember that I have done over thousands of road design in Sri Lanka. since 2009. I remember that 2009 to 2010 to 2013, 14, there were many roads designed. We were not allowed to, go beyond this geometric design improvements. They want to confine to the central line, existing line. And one reason is that cost. Another one is that when there are, World Bank, ADB funded projects, there are acquisition issues that they are employing sociologists, and they are not allowed. There is a constraint coming with this funding. Even we are getting a lot of fundings, but we can't do that. And based on that, there were many no overpassing, distance, sections we have to maintain, so that there are, driver fatigue over a length, and so that, there are many, police people, they are employed, but nothing is happening because of geometric issue. And the other thing is that the standard length, width of this lane is also reduced. It was the common practice that RD wanted to have 3.1 meter, which is the, marginal something. It is not, it was something like, that at a beach standard, it is like 3.7 meters, at least the minimum requirement like that. Mr. Gani is very much aware of that. The director, highway design there, he has been there, and a lot of RD engineers are also here. So I think there are many things that we have to make the aware. We should design the road with geometric improvement. So because people are in a hurry now, time is very important for them. They are, trying to rush at the when they are driving. So this is also, I think, one that I observed after listening to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tisse. I need to add something to what Dr. Tisse said. We did not do a systematic study, but we just did some investigations on recently developed rural roads and the I-roads, etc. And we found the geometry was not improved, as you said, only the surface improved. After that, many three-wheelers and motorbicycles, rather than driving and riding, they started flying. Ended up with many accidents. So we had few discussions. Why can't we introduce few humps? If you go to Sweden, you will find humps after humps after humps. Almost all the pedestrian crossings are facilitated with 2 humps on either side. In city centers, in rural areas, why can't we do that? Now, in front of the faculty, in our faculty, according to police records, there were 1 fatal accidents per year until the 2 humps were done in front of the faculty. Now, not a single fatal accident happened. So we have to adjust designs. We have to adjust these concepts according to the road user behaviors also, rather than just blaming road users over speeding or reckless driving, etc. It is a point, another point for us to think.
Dr. Taylor, one more question from me. I hope you don't mind.
No, it's okay, Mr. Pialias.
Yeah, does the present economic situation, the economic downfall in the country also have an impact on road accident? Because they are not focused on the road sometimes. They think of various other issues. Okay.
Yes, I don't want to totally disagree with you. Taking from Mr. Granny and Dr. Tisse's ideas, also we are facing various other problems like economical problems, and then the various professional groups, interests, etc. Anyway, there are answers for most of this. If you have heard about rumble strips, if you have heard about musical streets, right? So to reduce driver fatigueness, to get the driver's attention on the road, there are various techniques available, various techniques practiced in other countries, especially as is musical roads. You might have heard about musical roads. If you drive at a certain speed, you get a musical tone through your tire noise. So those are things various countries tried and practiced and proved it worked. And overtaking lanes, I saw in highway improvement projects like Gampala Pusallava, there were many bends improved. So I was thinking, why not this improved bend part was used for slow moving if land acquisition is difficult? Anyway, since it is not in my hands, I do not know what type of constraints these policymakers have, but it is high time for us to open our eyes and look it holistically. Thank you, Mr. Priyat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, one question from me, Dr. Jayalat.
Hello,
You
yes.
have found that for the helmet usage of the children is about 48%. So what might be the reason for that much low level of the helmet usage?
I don't know exactly, but according to few discussions I had, what is the sympathy from police? Police do not take action. Second, maybe not having proper helmets. Now there are slowly coming up helmets. And then the third, maybe parents' carelessness. Those three can be.
Maybe the law may not be set up for the children to
Basic law, according to my knowledge, not more than 2 people should ride a bicycle, right? So there are situations both parents carry 2 or 3 children, so that itself violates the rules. I have not seen, but there are cases where father and a child only goes. I have not seen a specific rule about children, but rules are available in other countries. If your leg is not long enough to support in the pedal, such people cannot ride on bicycles. There are rules like that in some countries, but not in our country, according to my understanding. So I believe this large number may be because of sympathy from police, because of not having proper helmets, because of parents' negligence. I did another study, I did not present it here, how much young children exposed to risk. According to the data we collected, most of the young children, when they travel to school with their parents, expose most for accidents.
So, isn't it you think that the law more than 2 people riding in a bicycle may not be suitable country like us, because the families here may not have the cars, all the families. They might need to have a vehicle going with the family, all the family members. So it might be need to revise, revisit the laws, or
No comments. Yes, I don't want to totally disagree with you. Yeah, what is more important, life or safety, convenience? Anyway, of course, Amal is raising his hand. I think he can give answer. If you improve public transport, probably some of these motorcycle riders may turn, not only motorcycle riders, even the car users will turn to public transport if the public transport is good enough in this country. Well, I don't know, Professor Niranka, whether we should allow 3-4 people going in a bicycle just because of economical situation. If anything happens, who will lose? Is the country or the family? Well, it's a sensitive question. Very sensitive. Very sensitive. I agree with you.
yeah. Okay.
Professor Kumarage?
Dr. Ganga, yes, Professor Kumarage, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ganga. I'm sorry I can't put my video. I'm appearing upside down. So
yes, I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Jayalat. I have one question for you. But before that, a couple of responses, particularly to some of the comments and the questions that were raised. Begin with Professor Niranga's about children riding on motorcycles. I believe about 12-15 years ago, when Minister Fauzi was Minister of Transport, I think the police were requested not to allow children to ride without helmets. And I think that that decision communicated as a police instruction still remains. I'm not really sure whether legal provision was obtained under the Motor Traffic Act by way of a gazette, but I think the police have been asked not to penalize. So that's one part of that in terms of the question asked. Secondly, I'm also not sure how much, I mean, in terms of visual risk. I know multiple passengers on a motorcycle appear very unsafe. Children without helmets appear unsafe. But I don't know whether statistically, there is proof to say that they are more vulnerable in terms of that we've had more accidents, with them as against, helmeted riders who go at high speed, as was mentioned, and so on. I think not wearing the helmet properly is probably a bigger problem than actually not wearing the helmet where children are concerned. The second comment is regarding Mr. Granny Jayalat's comment that expressways are probably the safest, safe designs in Sri Lanka. I think we can only reach that conclusion not by comparing with other roads in Sri Lanka, but by comparing with other expressways in the world. What is our accident rate per vehicle kilometer compared to other similar expressways? I agree with Dr. Tissa's comment that there have been certain design compromises on some of the sections. And in fact, it would be good for RDA to have done studies to see whether any of these design compromises, any riding texture, lane width, overtaking, whether they have contributed or not. So I think this kind of, research has to be done. The initiative must not come from the universities. The initiative must come from the agencies to engage people like yourself, Dr. Idrisingha, to study the specific road safety issues. I think what's happening is we academics are doing things, that of general interest, not in terms of specific, institutional interest. That interest must come from the institutions, and I really haven't seen any such requests coming from any of the institutions, from the police or the RDA or the NTC, saying, can we study this particular issue? So I think that's the second comment I want to make. The third one is interesting comment about, why not have speed humps on rural roads? See, I think I saw a comment that speed humps can also cause accidents because they are not lit at night, they are not visible in rain, and so on. I'm not sure whether if we do a study, which side of the issue the coin will fall. But see, I think we have a problem because, when we do feasibility studies for these roads, we assume that we can travel at 60, 70 kilometers an hour. And the economic justification for doing that road comes from time savings, And then we say that the speed is too much, and then we recommend putting all kinds of speed reduction, accident mitigation. So I think this is a problem at planning stage, at design stage, because we don't design safe highways. So I think, I'm not really sure what Dr. Tissa said, that, financial agencies, institutions, don't want that. But I think it's because we don't want it. We just want a fast surface, and that's the tension. And, if we have a certain right of way, we need to design a safe road within the right of way. Otherwise, we must acquire it and then design and then get the financing. So I think we just get financing and we don't have time to, straighten the bends. And then we say that, so once we get a loan, obviously the loan has an expiry time. So I think, we don't have attention on this. So anyway, enough of my speaking. The question I have is, I mean, obviously you've been talking about this for a long time passionately. So to actually take this forward, what do you think is the single most important obstacle that as a society in Sri Lanka, we need to move? Because there's so many moving parts. All of them need to move to get this to work, like in many other countries. But where should it start?
Well, after working so many years in this area, not working as a team is one of the main problems in this country. I think that is the main issue. There are a number of stakeholders. It can be road maintenance authorities like RDA, police, and then judiciary system, and then political system. It's very difficult to get everybody into one table. And everyone try to be above others. So when one group brings a solution, the other group does not implement it. Look at the government agencies. When one government bring a solution, and when once the government change or the minister change, they completely throw this out and come with another solution. So I think that should be the main issue in this country. Not having proper databases, not having proper common research platforms, etc. I think Professor Amal, that is how I understood.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree. I agree because I think I mean, we have never had a leading personality, political or whatever, say this is important. This has never been raised in an election manifesto. I mean, we've lost more lives on the road than due to conflict over the years. So I think the desire to get rid of this at any level of society hasn't happened. So we haven't had that leadership, in the right places. I mean, obviously we professionals can't really do this. It has to be like people who accept accepted leaders. The other issue I see is that we don't have a real an institution that takes this as their only responsibility. For all the agencies, it is a secondary. I mean, for RDA, I don't know whether it's even secondary. For the police, it is crimes and terrorism and everything else, and finally road safety. Even for NTC, operate buses, and finally accidents. So there is no agency other than the National Council on Road Safety, which doesn't have any professional staff. They have to rely on other agencies, which again is not interested. So I think these are the two things I would flag, but I agree with your comments. So yeah, it's difficult way forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Siva has to
Yes.
and Dr. Ganga.
Good evening. Thank you, sir, for your presentation. I hope I am audible.
Yes, Dr. Siva, I can hear you. Yes.
Yes. So quickly, 2 points I noted, sir. One is this design compromisation was discussed a couple of times. So why don't we have a external road safety audit? Or do we have external? I don't know if I'm mistaken, sorry. But do we have an external road safety audit in our system in the design stage and the construction stage and the post-construction stage is one area I'm just looking forward to see. The second point, the functionality of the roads by considering the accessibility versus the mobility. That's mean it's always accessibility trade-off with the mobility. So this functionality of the road, we put it in our paper as a theory and the concept. I am not sure, like, are we providing the correct carriage width for a correct amount, or are we doing excess carriers with to promote this kind of a problems?
Well, Dr. Siva, about road safety audit, probably Mr. Granny will be able to help me for this. RDA was trying to start a group of road safety audit. We were invited once when they had this Sway Road. I think RDA still have a road safety director for road safety or something. So they were trying. I do not know what has happened. We were invited once or twice. After that, we could not get involved in that. I think road safety audit is a must. It's a must now. I don't know whether we use IRAP. Now, IRAP is used by many countries. Like Malaysia is one of the, I think, highest usage of IRAP concept. IRAP software is free of charge, and many countries use. IRAP is also a kind of a road safety audit. I'm not quite sure whether we do it extensively in our country. And then functionality, big question mark. Why do we build roads? Now, best example is look at all the bypass roads. To start with Piliyongopalla Mawatha, and then bypass road in Mavanalla, and bypass road in Kegol. What is the ultimate goal of building bypass roads? It's as much as the main road. So they are functioning not as traffic transfers, but yeah, somebody says, yes, IRAP is currently being used by infrastructure. Good to know that. Yes. So that is my comment, Dr. Siva. I don't know whether.
My point is, I mean, RDA can initiate, but it should be external audit. Having an internal audit is always welcome, but then audit must be external.
Agree, but the owner should request it, isn't it?
True.
Owners means yeah, Mr. Granny.
True.
Yeah,
And
just
not to limit to the design,
yeah,
but to other stages also.
Yep, quite right.
Just to add about Dr. Sivakumar's concern, what I can recall, we simply could this way for whenever the expressway contracts are being signed. I mean, within the contract, I still could remember we had design safety safety audit for the design before construction. And even once the road is constructed, even before opening for public, there is again safety audit. And we appointed safety. Those things were included into the contract. That happened really when I was there at the Central CKE, Colombo Katunayake Expressway. We really had it. So that auditing is being particularly focused on project-wise. But like Dr. Siva mentioned, to external unit, that could be appreciated really, that we can have a safety audit on the existing roads also. But it could be still be done whenever these funded projects comes, we can include that on safety. I think Dr. Tissa also would be aware about the funded project whenever road improvements comes, whether the contract documents include safety auditing before design auditing, and then after the construction is being done, where the auditing is being done. That's one side, I mean, one solution to be considered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grant.
Mr. Vijayapandara? Yeah.
Yes, good evening. Thank you, Dr. Desingh, for your informative presentation. Can I hear you?
Yes.
Can you? Yes. Now, actually, I am speaking as a road user. Now, what I feel is that the one reason for all these accidents is mainly due to the excessive traffic congestions and created by, I think, unplanned land use. If you, for example, you just mentioned that the Mavanella bypass. So that was constructed in early 2000 to
provide the passage for the through traffic traveling from Colombo to Kandy. Now, what has happened now? So the Pradesh Sabha fellows have allowed shops, all the shops to come up alongside the road, and the vehicles are parked and reversed, and all sort of problems are there. Now that is like the old Mavanella road. So it is something that we have not touched this land use planning. I mean, we can't blame RDA also, because RDA is helpless. Now, if I will give one more example, that this road stretch from Malabe to Godagama on this Kotte Bope road. So that was rehabilitated somewhere in late 90s. And after that, so it was okay until this Millennium City comes up. So when the rehabilitation was done, there was no idea about this Millennium City. So after that, all of a sudden, the Millennium City came up. Now the whole stretch is congested, creating all sort of traffic and everything. So actually, I hate this traveling on this Colombo suburban road, especially if you take another example, that the road stretch from this Parliament Road from Athukote to Borella during the morning peak hours. Now it is a 3-lane dual carriageway. In the morning peak hour, another lane is provided for Colombo inbound traffic. Still, that is not enough. And what happened is that when the vehicles get stuck, all these motorcycles and three-wheelers come and surround you from both sides. And I am, of course, very scared to drive, because you never know that somebody will hit you, whether you are riding on the correct lane. So this is, I think, what you have touched is very, very important. But still, I think these authorities should sit down and plan for a better land use. In other countries, there's a planning authority, and they prepare the land use, and that is a blueprint, and that blueprint nobody can violate it. So I think your team, you mentioned the team, and in that team, this land use planners also must be included.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Cecilia. Agreed.
Yeah, thank you. I think we'll have one more question. Maybe Mustaq, you have raised your hand. Yeah. Okay. Then Udara, you have raised your hand. Can go ahead.
Yes, sir. Why can't we improve our enforcement system rather than having a local police enforcement? Can we use that evidence-based enforcement that can improve reduce the accident rate also?
Well, most of the things in this country is in a mess. A country was trying to bring demerit point system for more than a decade. There's a parliamentary select committee. Professor Amal Kumarage also attended. I also attended, and they were keeping it for years, now decades, without approving. So how can we get a new law? I do not know. When the rules implement, the bus drivers go on strike. So, as Professor Kumarage also said, there should be a dedicated, powerful group, right? Without changing the authority with the change of political party or minister to work on that. That's what I said at the beginning also. If it is a technical solution, one having some knowledge on this will be able to do it in 2 months or so. It is difficult because of these non-technical parts. When I say non-technical, all these professional egos and then lack of willingness to help others. So those are the issues. So we have rules and regulations. We have laws. But very pathetic.
Can't help, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Darren.
I think we are going ahead with a very interesting discussion, and as it was mentioned in one of your slides, 95% of the causes are human factors. and we are trying to balance many factors. It's maybe social factors against amenity factors, or economical factors against amenity factors. So I think it's something that we all should be working towards. And I think you have given these 4 E's, the engineering, education, encouragement, and enforcement should work parallelly. And as it was highlighted by many, I think there should be either one body or group of people who are working together. So that would be the message from your interesting presentation, interesting messages, and also thought-provoking the data you have collected over the years. So I think thank you very much for your interesting presentation. Unfortunately, we have to conclude the session, but I think as SLSTL, we can continue with this discussion in the years to come. So we'll take that message as take home. So thank you very much, Dr. Jayala. Yeah. Tenuan, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Ganga. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Ganga. So we had over 30 or 40 members today for this webinar, right? So it's a good number, and this session has been recorded, and we will share it through our YouTube page as well, SLSTL official page. So then I would like to extend my heartfelt thank to each and every one of you for joining us today at this very informative and engaging webinar on professionalism in road safety. So it has been a pleasure and honor to have you all here, and your participation has made this event a great success. So first and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude to our resource person today, Dr. Jayala Tedrisinghe, who generously shared his expertise and knowledge with us on this topic. Dr. Jayala, your insights have been truly enlightening and have enriched our understanding of this subject. So I would also like to extend my thanks to Dr. Ganga, Vice President Events at Sri Lanka Society of Transport and Logistics, for initiating and hosting today's webinar. Your commitment to the dissemination of knowledge is always greatly appreciated. And I must also acknowledge the support extended by all the executive committee members of SLSTL. A special thanks to our President, Dr. Tissa, and Secretary, Professor Niganga, for their support behind the scenes to ensure smooth execution of this event. And last but not least, I want to thank all of you, our participants, your active engagement. We have a very nice Q&A session, your questions, and your enthusiasm that has contributed to the vibrant discussion that took place today. So in conclusion, I believe you all gained valuable insights from this webinar, and I hope you leave here with a deeper understanding of the topic of road safety. So thank you for your time, attention, and your valuable contributions. We look forward to welcoming you for our future events. So that concludes the event. So the SLSTL AGM will take place soon after this meeting, and I invite all the SLSTL members who are here in this meeting to join the AGM. It will be taken as a separate Zoom meeting, and the links has been already shared with you. So thank you once again, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.